Wife confessed during a family dinner that she always wished she married my best friend, so I packed my things and left, but now she's begging me to come back. Last Sunday at my in-laws' house for their 30th anniversary dinner, everything seemed perfect. My wife Emma was helping her mom arrange flowers while I watched the game with her dad. My buddy Josh was there too. He's been like family since college, always invited to everything. The whole extended family was there, maybe 20 people total. Emma's cousins, her weird Uncle Dave who collects vintage spoons, her grandmother who still asks when we're having kids even though we've been trying for 3 years. After dinner, her Aunt Linda starts this thing where everyone shares their sliding door moments. Those what-if scenarios that keep you up at night. Everyone's going around the table sharing cute stories. Her cousin Sarah talks about almost moving to Japan to teach English. Uncle Dave mentions nearly buying Bitcoin in 2010. Her brother Tom jokes about almost joining the military instead of becoming an accountant. Normal, harmless stuff that gets people thinking. Then it's Emma's turn. She's had a few glasses of wine, and she gets this dreamy, distant look in her eyes like she's somewhere else entirely. Honestly, she says, looking directly at Josh across the table, I sometimes think I should have dated Josh instead of Mark back in college. We just click so naturally, you know? The entire table goes dead silent. Her dad literally chokes on his coffee and starts coughing violently. Her mom drops her fork with a loud clatter. Her grandmother's mouth falls open. I'm sitting right there like a complete idiot, watching my wife of 8 years fantasize about my best friend in front of our entire family. Josh's face goes bright red. He starts stammering something about how that's not appropriate, but Emma just keeps going like she's in some kind of trance. I mean, we have so much more in common than Mark and I do. Josh actually listens when I talk about my art projects. He gets my sense of humor. He remembers little things I say. Sometimes I wonder if I settled too quickly. That last part hit like a freight train. Settled? After 8 years of marriage, 2 miscarriages, buying our first house together, and me working overtime to pay for her art supplies, I settled? I excused myself to the bathroom, but really I just sat in my car for 20 minutes trying to process what had just happened. My hands were shaking. I called my brother Mike, but couldn't even form words to explain. When I came back inside, everyone was pretending nothing happened, making awkward small talk about the weather and Emma's mom's new garden, but the damage was done. You could cut the tension with a knife. We drove home in complete silence, 45 minutes of pure hell. The next morning, I packed a bag and went to my brother's place without saying a word to Emma. I just couldn't look at her. Here's where it gets really messed up though. Josh calls me that afternoon, absolutely panicking. His voice is shaking on the phone. Turns out Emma had been texting him for months, and I mean hundreds of messages. She'd been telling him how unhappy she was in our marriage, how she'd made a mistake choosing me, how they were meant to be together. The whole time I thought we were working through our fertility issues. She was planning her escape. Josh shows me some of the texts when we meet up. I think about you when I'm with Mark. Do you ever imagine what our life could have been like? I married the wrong person, and I'm finally ready to admit it. The worst part? Josh had been telling her to work on our marriage this whole time. He'd been trying to talk her out of these feelings, suggesting couples therapy, telling her she was just going through a rough patch that all marriages face. Emma's been showing up at my work every day this week, crying in the parking lot about how it was just a stupid comment fueled by wine. She keeps saying she didn't mean it, that she was just having a moment of doubt that everyone has in marriage. My coworkers are starting to stare. But yesterday, Josh dropped the bombshell that changes everything. We're grabbing coffee to talk through this mess, and he looks at me with this pained expression I've never seen before. Mark, there's something else you need to know. I'm gay. Have been since high school. I just never came out to Emma because I didn't want to make family gatherings awkward, and honestly, I thought she knew and was just being friendly all these years. My jaw literally dropped. Emma had been building this entire fantasy relationship with a guy who was never even attracted to women. She'd been planning to blow up our marriage for someone who couldn't have been less interested. Josh explains that he'd been trying to gently redirect her texts without outing himself, hoping she'd just move on and focus on our marriage. But Emma kept interpreting his kindness as romantic interest, reading signs that weren't there. So now, Emma's outside my brother's house every night, begging me to come back after spending months trying to leave me for a guy who was never even an option. She's left 17 voicemails today alone. The irony would be hilarious if it wasn't my life completely falling apart.